The Ides of Octember are upon us. Yeah, we had some early Octember fails. Fortunately, there weren't anything that were too bad or unknown, except for one. This all happened at the end of August. So anyway, we'll get right into it. It was Friday, just a couple days ago, because I am posting this video in a very timely fashion. And I decided I was going to take the Buick down to Chinaman because the Italians weren't home, so I could drive it then. So I hadn't run it in about a week or so. It started up, it ran, but it just ran like a total bag of shit. It would like go, then hesitate, then go, and stuff like that. And then finally, when I went to come back from Chinaman, it seemed to run a lot better. But of course, when parking it, it almost stalled in the middle of the road, because it still does. I have not done anything with the headlights or anything else with it. It's basically just been sitting there as a lawn ornament for right now. So that was the first one that sort of put me in an off mood. Now, Friday we had some interesting weather because it was rather humid, and that could make the car run like shit, but then why did it run okay later? So that was one. And then later in the day we had a lot of rain. So about 6 o'clock that night, I come out in the backyard, and the pool was not running. The switch was on in this position. You can see the tripper for the off time, if you can see with the sun's shadow there. Maybe that's better or worse. Is at 8 o'clock, but it was 6, and it shut off. But the switch was still on, so I said, huh? Did the pump just die? That would be wonderful, right? Nope. Turns out the breaker was tripped. That's really weird. Okay, flip the switch off, cycle the breaker off and back on, put the switch back on, nothing. So I run in the house and I check the main breaker panel, and the breaker for the pool was also tripped. I said, oh shit, that's really not good. So now I ran all the way back outside, shut the breaker and the switch just in case, came back in here and reset the breaker here. That reset. So I run back outside, and now I flip this breaker back on, that goes on, and then I took a pair of pliers with insulated handles and just nudged the switch back on, and the pump magically came back to life. Could it have been the rain that something happened and it tripped the breaker? Possibly, but it's never ever happened before, even in much heavier rain that we've had. And then it tripped both breakers. So what really happened? Ooh. Well, anyway, that was the second fail. And then the third fail happened about 2 hours later, about 8 o'clock. And I had to run upstairs for something, and I was greeted with a blast of hot air. I don't know what the temperature was up here because I looked at the thermostat and the display was completely blank. Now, that's nothing I haven't ever seen before. Usually that'll happen if the batteries in there have been in there for a long time and then we had an extended power outage, but we didn't. So I said, okay, let me replace the batteries. So I replaced the batteries in it, and the display blinked and went out. And it blinked again, and it went out. And it blinked a third time, and it went out, and it stayed out. And like a moment later, it finally did a test of all the elements in it, and everything came up, and it displayed the proper temperature, which was something like 78. So I went and I flipped the magic switch over to cool, and 5 seconds later it kicked on, and everything has been fine since. Also with the pool. Pretty sure I left the allegedly dead batteries right here, but I think the Whittons got to them. I was going to meter them and see, but I guess now I'll just never know. So that was the third really odd fail that just happened in one day. And then later that night, I got an email. That was not a good one. A lot of you who follow me also watch Lexmarks 567, and his father passed away at 69. Now, he wasn't in great shape to begin with, so it really was not that much of a surprise, but even so, you never expect death. But here we are, just about a month away from Octember, and already bad things are happening. So I want you to send your condolences over to Lex Marks 567 for the loss of his father. Lex, I'm very sorry, as I've told you in the email, but, you know, the AC, the pool, the Buick, you know, those are relatively minor compared to losing a life like that. Such is. Now, a couple years back, I lost my grandmother right around the same time, although it was actually into November, the very, first week of November. So, I don't know, can we say close enough? But then again, she was 98, so, you know, she was living on borrowed time anyway. Anyhow, so those are the fails so far, and we have not quite hit Octember yet. Make sure you go and send your condolences over to Lex Marks 567. I'll put a link in the description for his channel. And let me know what your pre-Octember fails have been so far. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.